Hello world, welcome back to my channel. I am Sahil and I am developing a CRUD application using Bootstrap 5, PHP, PDO, MySQL and Fetch API of ES6. In previous video, you have seen that how I have created database and table for this application. Also how to make connection to the database using PHP and defined some utility methods. Now in this video, I am going to show you how to validate this form and then insert form data into database. Okay. So let's start. So open your project and here you can see this is util.php file that is already created in previous video. Okay, here I have defined two methods for sanitizing input and showing success and error message dynamically. Okay, so just close this file, and this is config.php file where I have created a class with name config. Now this class is only responsible for connection to the database. Okay, so close this also. Now next what I will do is I will create a new file inside root of the project directory. Okay, so just create a new file, name it main.js. Now inside this file we will write all the ES6 code here. Okay, but before writing any code, let's first link this main.js file inside this index.php file. Okay, so just go below, and here just before the closing body tag I will use script tag, and inside this src attribute I will write the name of the file that I have just created, main.js. Okay, save this. Now we will write all the ES6 code inside this main.js file. Okay, so first what I will do is I will send, before sending form data to the server, first we will validate the form. Okay, we will validate this form. After validation we will send all the form data to the server, then I will insert the data into database. Okay, and we will get some success message and display here that user inserted successfully. Okay, so for this let's come here in main.js file, and first what I will do is I will select the form using id. Okay, so come to index.php file. Here you can see this is our form tag, and here in id attribute I have written add -user -form. Okay, so just copy this and go to main.js file. Now here I will use a constant, and here I will write add form equal to document.getElement by id. Now inside this we have to pass the value of id attribute. Okay, now next what I will do is I will just write a comment, add new user AJAX request. Okay, now we will run an event. Okay, so we have to just use add event listener to this form, and we will use submit event. Now here I will use async await method of ES6. Okay, and I will also use arrow function of ES6. Okay, so for this here I will use parenthesis, and in parenthesis I will use a parameter e. Okay, and then I will use this arrow method. Okay, now inside this what I will do is I will first prevent the form from submission. So for this just use this line e.prevent default. Now this will block the form from submitting. Okay, now next what I will do is I will create one more constant, form data. Okay, form data. Now inside this constant I will store all the form input field values in URL encoded format. Okay, so for this we will use this form data method, and here I will pass add form. Okay, add form. Now by doing this we are storing all the form input field values with a key in URL encoded format inside this form data constant. Okay, now I will also send one more key with value to the server for checking purpose. Okay, so we will see it later. Okay, but for now just use form data and then just use append. Now just write add and assign a value 1. Okay, now next what I will do is I will validate the form using Bootstrap 5 method. Okay, so here I will use if add form dot check validity method. Okay, now we are checking HTML5 uh, HTML5 required attribute in every input field. Okay, so whatever input field has required attribute, that will be validated using Bootstrap method. Okay, so here I will check is equal to false. Okay, if any of the input field is blank, then this if statement will be executed. Okay, so here we will use e.prevent default. First we will stop form from submission, and then we will also use this stop propagation, and then we will also assign a a class to the form tag. Okay, so here I will use class list dot add, and then here I will here I will use was validated. Okay, save this and also just use return false. Okay, now in else part we will use our fetch API. Okay, to send AJAX request to the server. But before writing anything, let's check that our validation is working or not. So just refresh this page, click on add new user and click on add user. Okay, so you can see I have not written anything in any input field, and when I click on add user button, then all the fields are validated. Okay, if you write anything in any of the field, then you can see these two fields are marked as validated, but these two are not. Okay, if we write inside this also and this also, then you can see all the fields are now marked validated. Now if we click add user, then this form will be submitted to the server. Okay, so for this, here in else part we have to write AJAX using fetch API. Okay, but before doing this, I will also change this button text to please wait until our request submitted to the server. Okay, so by using this ID add user btn, we'll here use document dot get element by ID, and here just write the button ID, and then I will use value and then assign please wait. Okay, please wait, and then next what I will do is I will create a constant with data, and then I will use await keyword. Here why I am using await, because you can see I have used here I have not written async here, so we have to write async because this method will be a asynchronous. Okay, that's why we have to pass async keyword here before the function. Okay, so if we are using async method, then we have to use await here, then we have to use fetch, and here I will pass the URL where we are sending the form data. So we will send our form data to this file action.php file. Okay, now this will act as an controller file. Okay, so we will code in this file later, so just now write these codes. Okay, now here what I will do is I will use method post. Okay, so just write post, and in body we have to specify what we are sending to the server. So we are sending this form data, so just pass form data, and next we have to handle the response in the client side. because whenever we will process this form into the server, then server returns some response, and we have to handle that response here. Okay, so for this just use const response, and we have to use await again, and then data dot txt. Okay, and for now I'm just using console log to display the response in the console. Okay, so just use this, save this, and now next what I will do is I will go first I will create a model file. Okay, so just create a new file with name db.php, and also create a controller file. So in as controller I will use action.php file. Okay, but first in db.php file what I will do is I will define some method. Okay, so here first what I will do is I will use require once, and I will just include this file into this db.php file. And next what I will do is I will create a class database that will be extend this config.php file, oh sorry, config class, and config class is already defined inside config.php file. Okay, and I have included this config.php file here in db.php file, and here I am creating a new class database that extend this config class. Okay, now we can access any member variable, any protected and public member variable and member method inside this class. Okay, so next what I will do is I will here just define a method insert user into database. Okay, so for this I will use public function insert. Okay, now here we have to specify parameter, so I am inserting first name, so here just write f name, l name, email, and phone. Okay, now next we have to write the SQL query, so here I will write insert into users is the table name. Okay, now in parentheses we have to write the column name. Okay, so if we come here, and this is our database and this is the table name, and inside these are all the columns name. Okay, so we have to write these column names here. Okay, so for first name I will write first underscore name, similarly last underscore name, email, and phone. Okay, now we have to specify values, so here I am using PDO, and I am also using prepared statement. Okay, so I will use here named placeholder. Okay, named placeholder. Okay, so here I will use this colon and then f name. Okay, colon l name, colon email, colon phone. Okay, now our SQL query is ready. Now we have to use another variable statement. Now using this we will use connection variable. Now we have to use this prepare method and pass SQL variable here. Now again I will use statement variable and then execute this query using execute method, and then we have to bind all the values here in this execute method. Okay, so here we can pass as an array, so we have to write the placeholder name in single quote. Okay, so just write f name and bind with the actual value. So actual value with will come from this parameter list. Okay, so here we have to just write f name, similarly for l name value will come from l name. For email just write email, and here just write email, and for phone, sorry, phone, just write phone. Okay, save this and finally return true. So our insert method is now ready to use. Now next what I will do is I will go to this controller file action.php file, and here just use php tags, and then here what I will do is I will just use require once and include this db.php file that I have just created. Okay, and I will create an object of this class, database class, to access any method of this database class here in action.php file. Okay, so let's create db equal to new database, the name of the class. Now this is our object of this database class. Now we can access any method that is defined inside this database, sorry, this db.php file. Okay, inside this action.php file using this object. Okay, sorry. So now next what I will do is I will write a comment, handle add new user, sorry, user AJAX request, and here we will use if it's set, and here we will use super global variable post, and here we will write add. Okay, now why here I am writing add, because if we come here in main.js file, then here you can see I have appended I have appended add add keyword with value 1. Okay, along with all the form data. Okay, so that's why we are checking here in action.php file like this. Okay, if we just use print underscore r and just use super global variable post, then let's see all the form data are returning to the client or not. Okay, so just save this and go to the browser and come here, refresh, open your console first. So this is our console. Now click on add new user. If you click on add user, then you can see the form is validating. Now if you enter any data in the all field and click on add user, then you can see all the input field values are coming in array format here. Okay, it means the form data is going to the server, and from the server also the data is coming to the client. Okay, in array format. But we will not use this. We will create variable and store all the values in variable. Okay, so for first name I will create fname equal to but I have just create I have already created this util.php file, and here I have defined this method, test input method. Okay, so I will use this here inside action.php file. Okay, so first we have to include this file, util file, sorry, require once, and here just write util.php. now we have to create an object of this util class. Okay, so just use util equal to new util. Now here we can just util. Okay, so here just use util and then call this test input method. Now inside this we will use post super global variable, and then here we will write fname. Okay, because here you can see the key of this first name is fname, this last name is lname, and this email is email, and phone is phone. Okay, so we have to write like this. For last name just write lname here and here also. Now for email just create variable email and change here also email. For phone just write phone, and here also just write phone. Okay, now we have stored all the input field values in variable. Okay, now next what I will do is I will use if statement. Okay, if we and here using db we will use this insert method, and here we will pass all the variable app name, lname, email and phone. Okay, and if this query returns true and executed successfully, then we will display a success message. And using this util we will use this show message method, and here we will use success, and then here we will write message user inserted successfully. Okay, and if something went wrong, then here we will echo util show message danger, and write something went wrong. Okay, now our controller is also ready. Now let's check here, close this, refresh. Now click on add new user and just write all the input field values and click on add user. Now you can see Bootstrap 5 alert has been showing here in code in console. Okay, so we have to display it somewhere inside this page. Okay, now let's check into the database that user has inserted or not. So you can see user have successfully inserted into the table also. Now next what I will do is I will go to this main.js file, and here just remove this console.log because we will not use this. Instead I will do one more thing in index.php file. Actually I will display alert here just above this row. Okay, this table row. Okay, so here you can see this is the row, and here we will create one more row, and inside this call lg2l I will create a div with id so alert. Okay, now just copy this id and go to main.js file. Now next what I will do is just come here and create a constant alert so alert equal to document dot get element by id, and here just pass the id. And next here what I will do is I will just use so alert dot inner html equal to response. Here I will pass response. Okay, now next what I will do is I will change this please wait text button text again to add user. Okay, so just copy and paste here and just change the text to add user. Okay, and we will also reset the form. Okay, so to reset the form what I will do is just write add form and then use reset method. Okay, reset method. Now next what I will do is I will also remove was validated class. So just use add form and then class list dot remove and then I will use was validated. Okay, now just save this and go to the browser, refresh. Now let's click on add new user and type something, just change the name Harry @gmail.com, just random number, click on add. Okay, now you can see the record has been inserted successfully. If you go to the database and refresh, then here you can see the data inserted successfully. Now you can see the success messages also. Okay, but here one thing is missing, that when I click on this add user, then this model is not hiding automatically. Okay, so to make this when we click on add user after successful adding, we have to hide this model also. Okay, so for this what I will do is, we have to first go to index.php, and here you can see on the ID of this model. Okay, so this model has an ID attribute, and this ID has some value, add new user model. So just copy and go to this main.js file, and here what I will do is I will create one more constant, and here I will write add model equal to document dot get element by ID. Sorry, actually I will use new bootstrap dot model, and then I will use document dot get element by ID, and here I will pass the ID of the model. Okay, now using this add model, what I will do is, just here I will add model dot hide. Okay, add model dot hide. Now save this. Now go to the browser, refresh. Now if we again click this add new user button and just write some ron@gmail.com, and when I click on add user, then you can see user inserted successfully, and the model is also hide automatically. Okay, now if you go to the browser database and refresh users table, then then the user is also inserted into this table. Okay, so insertion of user is working fine. So that's it for this video. In next video I will show you how to display all records from the database here dynamically. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe this channel. See you soon in next part of this series. Okay.